What's up, guys? It's Johnny Candido of Candido Training.
HQ.
And in today's video, I want to talk about something that was brought up in my Road to 1500 video. And I'll include a link in the description to that. If you haven't seen it already, I highly encourage you to check it out. But in that video, I showed that my bench press of all lifts only increased by 5 pounds in the past year, whereas my squat and deadlift increased immensely, as I put over 100 pounds on my total in just about a year, actually slightly under it. So a lot of people have been asking me, why is that the case? What has been going on with your bench press training where it hasn't moved, at all really? And in my opinion, it's come down to 3 things. First is I've been having rotator cuff issues, where I have pain, around my shoulder joint in my rotator cuff where it gets really sore, and that's really caused issues for me because that leads to my second issue, which is the fact that leading up to all these meets, I've had to decrease my volume way more than I should. And because the thing is, when you're obviously training for a meet, you have to increase the intensity in terms of percentage of your 1 rep max. So I just wasn't able to handle that at a decent enough volume to sustain strength. The decrease in volume didn't impact me at the meet itself, but it'd be right after the competition when I start my next training cycle, I'd get a lot weaker because that decrease in volume catches up to you later. So the first 2 things were rotator cuff issues and the lack of volume that was a consequence of that. And then the third issue, which was a consequence of essentially both of these adding up, was the fact that I just was not having the mental focus for my upper body workouts that I've needed to gain strength. When it comes to the squat and deadlift, naturally because I'm better at them, I get more excited for those lifts. So this brings me to what I'm going to do now moving forward, besides just mentally being ready for each workout where I'm bench pressing. And the first thing I'm going to do is I actually considered widening my grip to where my pointer finger was on the rings. And this would be purely to shorten the range of motion. I tried this out for a small period of time, and I tried doing dumbbell flies beforehand to warm up for it. That's something Connor Lutz gave me a tip on. And I've noticed that a lot of elite IPF lifters use a grip similar to this, or grip width similar to this. And Owen Hubbard and Connor Lutz being 2 examples in my weight class. And it was just a very uncomfortable position for me, and it made me think back to what my initial issue was, and it was that rotator cuff pain. So I just decided that this is probably not the smartest thing for me to do, because while in the short term maybe I could handle more weight, and I'm not even sure if that's true, because I do feel less explosive with that wider grip, it also, even if it was better for me in the short term, I'm not sure that my body could handle that when I'm training, with a decent amount of volume over time. So I actually decided to go the opposite route and narrow my grip now. And my grip before was where my pinky was on the outside of the rings, or was outside of the rings by about an inch or so. And now it's inside of the rings. So now I'm tucking my elbows a lot more, and I feel a lot more explosive out of the bottom position. So since I am narrowing my grip, I do need to make sure I strengthen my triceps. What I'm going to do is, as an optional accessory exercise, right now I'm doing upper body workouts twice a week. So I'm doing my strength hypertrophy program. So what I'm going to do is on one day do close grip bench press and have my hands at the start of the knurling, so that's pretty close for me. And then on the other day I'm going to do dumbbell bench, but with my palms facing in, so my wrists in a neutral position, and this makes it easy to tuck your elbows and once again focus on tricep development. My goal with the close grip bench is to be able to hit 225 for 3 sets of 12 after my main volume work with my standard bench press grip. If I can do that, I think then I'll be on my way to actually finally building up my bench press and making it hopefully become less of a weakness. So besides just getting more focused, moving my grip width in a bit, and then also doing accessories to develop my triceps a bit more, what I'm also going to do is focus on my nutrition a little and try to just have better eating habits. Because personally, I find with the bench press that's the most directly correlated with your body composition. It's just very hard to increase your bench without actually putting on more lean body mass. Whereas with a lift like the deadlift, for example, I find that I can set PRs without necessarily putting on that much more muscle. I think it has to do with them being a little bit more taxing on the nervous system, and then also just being more technical. So there are more areas to improve. But I've found that, if I just don't put on more muscle mass, it's very hard for my bench press to move. I just have to get bigger, especially my upper body. It's way smaller than my lower body, so I'm going to also do more hypertrophy work. but none of this will work if I don't clean up my diet just a little bit. Alright, that's it guys. Make sure to like the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching guys. Peace! Also, something I forgot to mention is the fact that I'm going to try out the Slingshot by Mark Bell. Silent Mike was kind enough to send me that for free. So I will be testing that out and seeing how it helps with my training as far as increasing volume and getting some super maximal loading.
Johnny's an amazing lifter.
He's a cool dude too.
Who is he?
Johnny Candido.
I don't even know.
He's a little 181, all natural.
You met him.
IPF.
You met him at the Arnold. Not that you didn't meet a lot of other people at the Arnold.
Yeah, true. Who is he?
Johnny Candido.
I don't even know.
Soon.